nerdsreviews.com presents Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us, we'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's your introductionary recap, Captain Philip talking. And today we have a very special episode because it's all about comic books. I mean, I like myself some comic books. You know, every Wednesday I go to the comic shop and be like, hey, get my comic books. I like Superman and Batman. They're my favorite. We have Elliot Fernandez on the show today. He used to draw for DC Comics, and he's a very insightful individual. And of course, we have Lafayette and Carlos. Enjoy the show, everybody. Nerds Talking the podcast. Welcome to Nerds Talking the podcast, episode 19. Here with Carlos.
Hey.
And our special guest today is Elliot Fernandez.
What's up, everybody?
There we go. We are talking something that all three of us have in common that we love and grew up loving. Today's podcast is comic books and all things related to comic books, from movies, TV, to the impact on culture, to how we got into it and our love of comics and what got us into it, and things of that nature. Elliot here has worked for, I think, DC Comics. Is that right?
I have. I briefly worked on, during the miniseries of Power Girl, Harley Quinn. I did 3 or 4 issues of that. And, I had parts in 3 or 4 issues of those. And I did work also for Archie Comics. I worked on the Riverdale, the first Riverdale issue they started with to represent that TV show. I did covers for them and for Jughead, for Archie. What else have I done? Stuff for Dynamite. I did stuff for Bruce Campbell's story.
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. All right. Army of Darkness, Xena, and then Army of Darkness. The cover for the 2016 presidential election cover, where everybody was a zombie. It was good. I mean, that's most of my stuff, my professional work in comics. I did a little bit of work for Marvel for their license department, where I did designs where they asked me to draw some of the Avengers for their style guide.
Oh, okay. And didn't you also do storyboards?
I did storyboards for Marvel Animation as well for the Hulk Agents of Smash show.
Yeah, that's right.
My work was so bad that they canceled the show. No, I did. It was cool. You know, it was I worked on several episodes, but I had a bigger scene in one episode with Ego.
Okay.
That was really fun. It was a lot of snot jokes and.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Yeah.
That's cool though. So Elliot here has a background in comic books. He's drawn for everyone you know, DC, like he said, a little bit of Marvel on not necessarily the comic book side, but other ventures for them. Carlos has drawn for Marvel, but he's done some like Upper Deck cards for them, like licensing art. I haven't drawn for anyone. I'll draw for you if you email us at nerdstalking@yahoo.com, and I'll draw a little stick figure here and there, maybe, ramp it up a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah. So, awesome. So this is great. So like I said, all three of us here are comic book lovers. We love the art of it. I think that's the main thing, right? I think all three of us can agree. We like comics for the art. If they never put words in the books, would we still buy them?
I only bought them for the art. So I don't think I've read 80% of my collection.
Yeah,
but it depends on the era, though, because I mean, in the '90s, I was buying comic book for the art for sure. But then again, in the '90s, they were almost every other week was like a half-naked chick on the cover.
Yeah.
It sells, right?
That'll buy a comic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I recently heard Rob Liefeld, a podcast of his, and he talks about how many books him and Jim Lee were putting out for Image monthly. So basically, how many books did Wildstorm put out, and how many books did what did he call it? What did he call his imprint? You guys remember Rob Liefeld's imprint? It wasn't awesome. It was something Extreme Studios. Okay, you guys guess. Okay, how many books those two studios put out monthly?
Good books or just books?
Just well, ain't that the truth? Good books. Go ahead, Elliot. You guess. Give me a number between those two studios. How many books monthly you think they pushed out?
I'm gonna go high. I think
Okay.
50.
Okay, Carlos.
I was gonna go 20.
Oh, 42.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, Rob Liefeld Studio put out 22 books a month, which they were so bad. And Jim Lee was actually putting out 20 books a month through Wildstorm, and losing a boatload of money, and that's why he sold it to DC Comics.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. He. But then again, that's the reason why they booted Liefeld, because he was putting out so much product, and they're like, "You're oversaturating Image with garbage. Like, what are you doing?"
Is that why?
Yeah, that was like the main thing, is they were just like, man, you are really just pumping out anything and everything for a money grab. Like, what is going on here? I mean,
wasn't most of it a money grab though? Wasn't Image just a big money grab anyway?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they grabbed all the top artists, right? They sucked them all in, obviously to sell books, not to
true,
not to start a boys club.
Let's look at somebody like Larson, right? He did drop numerous books later, but he didn't drop more than say 5 a month. What
was he doing? Savage Dragon, Vanguard.
Remember, he did Savage Dragon, Vanguard. He did some group book.
Eric Larson was the owner of Vanguard. That's right. Yeah. I was
Remember Vanguard? Yeah, the alien fella.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Joe Madureira, one of his first works was Vanguard. Yeah.
That's right.
But look at Todd. Todd really has never spun off of Spawn that much. Maybe 1 or 2 books that were limited series.
Yeah, Sam and Twitch, I think, was one.
Sam and Twitch.
Was
Creech? Creech was out of McFarlane Studios. He did Haunt. If anyone remembers Haunt.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the gal? She's in Marvel now.
Angela, whatever. Yeah.
Did she have her own book too?
She did.
And Redeemer, I think, had one. I think. I seem to remember something. No, you're right. The rest of them were definitely very more minimal. But I think Rob definitely, I guess so. I mean, yeah. If maybe it was a more sincere effort I think of all those guys, I want to say that Larson was probably the most sincere. I feel like he's the most sincere contributor to that company as far as producing a regular book. I mean, he just celebrated, didn't he? Is he on 300 issues yet or something like that? Or at least he's almost there, if he's not already past it.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. Oh no, that was recent. That was Spawn recently. Was 300.
Spawn. So I don't.
But Larson, I think, is higher than that.
Higher than what? I'm back.
300 issues.
300?
Oh, I don't think Larson's hit 300. I know Spawn has. Spawn has hit. Wildcats has hit 16. So that's, I mean, that, again, us three here love comics, especially 90s comics. They were so ridiculous. Cyberforce, which is X-Men, things like that. Wetworks, what's funny is 90s is Image when you think about it, because they boomed Marvel comics to make us buy glow-in-the-dark Ghost Rider covers and right and hollow foil covers and man. Did you buy a lot of those? Did you guys buy a lot of those hollow foil or multiple number ones?
Oh yeah, for the variant covers. Oh yeah, I got robbed.
Who didn't get robbed?
You got robbed.
Yeah, think about it.
Liefeld.
We all got robbed. I have no feet. No, the thing is about that. The funny thing you just said is I remember going to the comic shop with you, and you'd buy like 10 number ones of something because everybody thought, of course, the boom of comics is gonna be worth something, right?
Right.
And they're not worth a shit. This comics they're not worth a shit. Even nowadays, I buy comics still on Wednesdays. I don't board and bag them or anything. I just throw them on the coffee table like they're just magazines. I don't Like whatever. Like I don't
That's a healthy approach, I think.
yeah, you know what I mean. There's no point of boarding. They're not worth anything. They're worth the price. They're not even worth the price I paid. They're worth nothing now. They're mine. Like if anything, I should white out the words and write a new story.
Do you guys remember when Savage Dragon came out with 16 different covers or whatever it was? So they were just different color title
Yes.
logos. I felt
You fell. You fell for it. You're a sucker.
I am.
What about the Spider-Man McFarlane? Like 3 or 4 different #1 covers. Now they were different colors, like a silver and a gold one and a
The
regular
gold
colored
one. Yeah. And that must be the most copied cover ever, the McFarlane cover.
Was that released at the same time though, or was that like after the fact they released them like as a commemorative or something like that? I don't remember them coming out all at once.
I don't recall.
That wasn't the same time. Well,
I remember the so-called platinum one came out at the same time, but it was limited. I remember chasing that thing.
For all the listeners out there, I hope you still have this. I hope you've never opened it. The Death of Superman.
Oh yeah, 3 copies, man.
So at least 25 cents.
Oh, yeah.
So you're still not gonna open it?
No.
It's the cryptocurrency of comics. you're just waiting for it to blow up.
I can't afford it now. That's the problem. It's too expensive for me. 25 cents.
Oh man, and it's a bullshit. It was a lie. He came back like a year later, and he was
Long
electric.
hair. He was a hippie.
Well, he also turned into some type of electricity or something.
Which came first, the breaking of Batman's back or Death of Superman?
Oh, Batman, I think.
Yeah, we should have learned our lesson from Batman.
Right? Yeah, come on. You can't kill off any of those guys. Name one superhero they've killed off.
Guy Gardner.
No, I think he's back.
Is he?
Name one they've killed off where you're like, oh, he really is not coming back.
Comic death is like a vacation. It's like taking a break off a soap opera.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's give us some time to try to figure this character out. You know what I mean? In the writing room. Anybody got any good ideas? Because we've ran out of ideas. Like, how the hell is Batman still letting Joker live?
Why did Guy Gardner come back as the Ultimate Warrior? I don't understand these things.
Oh, that's right. He did come back as he looked like the Ultimate Warrior. This is about as nerdy as it gets.
This is deep cut nerdy.
Yeah, this is hardcore. We started off with 90s comics. This is hardcore nerd stuff. Man, geez. Okay, we'll take a break right here. We'll be right back. We're gonna get into some art stuff and some more. Well, it's all comic books. If you love comic books, you listen to the right episode here on Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Taco Tuesdays with Nutso and Chuck the Rap Star. Every Tuesday on the Nerds Review Network. Grab a taco, take a seat, pop a burrito, it's gonna get deep. Subscribe and turn on your notifications, and don't forget to hit that like button.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Carlos and our guest, Elliot Fernandez, a world-renowned comic book artist. To you people, because what do you know about comics, really? that's what I look at it. But that's great. So we were talking about 90s comics, and what do you guys remember the first comic book that not you bought, the first comic book that made you just love comic books? Like, do you guys remember it? Justice League.
I found an old pile of comics in my grandmother's basement that apparently belonged to my mother when she was a little girl. Justice League was in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Elliot, you remember the first comic you were like, oh my God, this is so cool? Like,
yeah, for me it was I think I can't say for sure. I gotta say it's gonna be Marvel Team Up.
Okay. So Team Up book.
I inherited a collection from a cousin of mine who had just moved, who just left Puerto Rico to California, and he left his comics behind. And I happened to visit that summer. I was like 6, 7 years old. And
okay.
I couldn't speak Spanish, so my cousin's like, here, just give the gringo this, and they gave me 1,000 comics. I was like, oh.
Yeah, the gringo understood comics.
Yeah, I got that. I picked up everything that was Avengers, Defenders.
Nice.
And Team Up. That's all I cared about at the time.
Nice. I it had to be pretty sure it's a DC book. And it's, you know, it's funny, it's not really a comic book Carlos actually had a coloring book.
I still have that. I still have that.
And it was actually for
How to draw DC characters.
How to draw DC characters, but they look like the Super Friends, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And this is back in what, like 84, 83? Like it's far
I think it
back.
said 82 because I even wrote on the inside cover the date that I got it, how old I was, and every year for the next 10 years I'd cross out my age and put my new age.
Yeah. And I remember that book, and I loved that book because
You hated
colored.
it.
He colored.
You colored it. You ruined it.
I colored it great when I was 3 years old. Okay, first of all, it's kick that. Here's the funny story. So he found those books from my mom, those old Green Lanterns and
good story.
Batmans, and I'm talking like he had some good stuff in there, like stuff that he could probably sell for like at least $30 a pop.
I had the Batman number 100, the giant issue.
Yeah, well, you did until I got my hands on it.
No, I still have it. You didn't touch. No, you didn't.
I didn't touch that one. Okay,
it's not in good shape, but I have it.
Okay, so what I did to his comics that he found is when I was like 4 years old. Don't ask me why somebody would do this, but I got my hands on a pair of scissors, and I started cutting out the characters and using them as action figures.
He was putting them on popsicle sticks. Playing with them.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, Green Lantern, you look so cool. John Byrne did a great job. And then I'm like, Superman, you get him. And then
now I did that also because I grew up in New York City, and I did that with the New York Post. Used to publish a Spider-Man strip.
Oh yeah,
I would cut out Spider-Man the same way, but I would never have cut up a comic.
Oh no, these are like his classic like 60s comics.
Oh my god,
a lot of detective comics went there.
A lot of detective comics that I just thought these were cutout books. You know, when you're like 4 years old, who gives a 4-year-old scissors? That's bad parenting.
You know who's adopted?
Yeah, right. Like, let the adopted kid use the scissors. Maybe he'll finish himself. Oh man, yeah. So,
That's harsh.
and then from there you love comic. Who's your favorite superhero? If you want to pick one, who is your favorite?
You go first, Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos, you go. I already know his. I already know.
Superman.
Go ahead. Superman. Yeah. Elliot.
That's a hard one for me, man. I have a one of those IKEA glass cases full of Hulk.
Oh,
Just nothing but Hulk. But I'm also a gigantic aficionado. No, I wouldn't say I was aficionado. I don't think I'm aficionado of anything. I think, but I'm a big fan of Robin.
Robin. Well, see, that's
Robin.
Robin.
Which Robin?
Yeah,
Dick
which Robin?
Robin with the panty liners.
With the little elf shoes.
Little elf shoes, little Keebler shoes.
Why did he have his shorts had like
Scales.
Why did he have scales? I never understood that. Or was that metal so he couldn't shoot off his junk or something?
To protect his junk. What are you talking about? I don't know. I think it was like a Robin Hood thing, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
The elf shoes.
He had one of the coolest costumes, even though it was weird.
So when I was growing up, I grew up on I'm a 70s and 80s kid, and I grew up on the 66 reruns of Batman from the 66 era. Anyway, Adam West and Burt Ward, and I loved that show. As far as I was concerned, that was Batman. I didn't understand the humor. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
To me, it was totally serious.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah, I totally thought it was serious too when I was watching.
Oh, I thought it was serious when I watched it. And to be honest, Robin looks so cool,
man. But I tuned in for Batgirl.
Dude.
She got some curves on her, boy. I tell you what.
If the credits showed her drive by on the bike, I was pumped up.
Blood started pumping, huh? You sent out your bat signal. I got you. You sick son of a gun. My favorite hero will always be Superman. I've always loved Superman. Superman as, you know what it is when you're introduced to comics and they give you like, hey, here's this guy. No one can beat him. He's the greatest. Oh, thanks. Like, this is the coolest. Oh, here's Spider-Man. No. You just told me this guy. This guy here is like a living steroid. This is awesome.
How did you consume Superman first? What was your first Superman?
Man, Superman was probably cartoons, to be honest. Yeah. Probably cartoons and the Christopher Reeve movies.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Like I said, Carlos found a stash of comics. I gotta, then the Super Friends were popular.
Yeah.
And Superman he's always the leader, right? But even if he wasn't the leader, he would stand out. You know what I mean? If he wasn't the leader, for sure he would just stand out. Superman he's a badass character, but the problem with Superman, his flaw is he's hard to write. You know what I mean? He's hard to, he's hard to create storylines for, because we know in the end, nothing's gonna stop Superman. Not
So
even.
I have some nerds discussion on that whenever you're ready to talk.
Oh,
about
okay.
what the reasons are. I have some new hypotheses and ideas about all that.
Of Superman's what his flaws could be, and
well, why it's so difficult to write.
What's okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go for it. Jump. It's now Superman segment.
Well, no, it's actually an interesting. So I have a business partner, Andy Rivera. He's one of my best friends, and
yep.
We're always trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't work. So for those of you out there who are still wondering what the heck we're talking about, there's a long-standing controversy in comics, from the longtime collectors to the modern guys who only know the characters from the movies. And so one of the challenges that they've always had, one of the theories is that comics have outlived their purpose. Did I say porpoise? Not purpose. They shouldn't have lasted this long. I remember John Romita Sr. said something like that. Even back then in the 60s, they thought it was gonna, like, the superhero would come and go.
Yeah.
And Marvel. And I think the reason why is I've kind of started to do some interesting analysis about the difference between your characters that are stories that are plot driven versus comics that are character driven. So Marvel has always benefited from a character driven story. That's why I think comic books like the X-Men benefited from Claremont's writing in the 80s. He was very dense. He was very verbose. For
the audience, that's Chris Claremont, and did he write the Phoenix Saga?
Yes.
Yes. Because people probably they'll know what that is. Phoenix Saga. Right. If you saw that shitty movie, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, the shitty movie. But he definitely, when he was writing, though, he was trying to push this idea of people will sometimes say it was like a soap opera with superheroes in it. So it was almost like the Christopher Nolan movies, right? Those were, I remember when one of the first critiques of that I thought were very interesting about that was that the compliment was it was a bank heist movie for Dark Knight Returns that happened to have Batman in it. And that stuck with me for a long time. And I was like, yeah, it's interesting because it was, in my estimation, there was very little Batman in it, as much as it was more about the Joker and the conflict between the characters. Yeah. Well, but if you look at older DC books, DC has started out as a plot-driven comic book series or storylines. So what that means is your characters never changed. Superman was like Peter Pan. He was a mystical character. He had all kinds of abilities. The trick was how is Superman going to get out? How is he going to save Metropolis this time? This month it was the giant bird. Next month it's the giant puppet or something, or the evil fourth dimension villain. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really built around the character. He just continued to be that. So he was perfect. Yeah. He was designed specifically for that kind of like monster of the week or monster of the month setup. But it wasn't that important he himself wasn't driving the story. It was just the plot was driven around him. He was the star on the top of the Christmas tree. Everything else was garland. Whereas in Marvel, the character development was the star, and it just happened they happened to wear costumes. Mm-hmm. So what we've been talking a lot about this now, how trying to identify. That's a lot of the times now, especially now that we're I'm older now and I've been collecting for a long time. And for me, some of the fun of comics is not even collecting and reading, as it is trying to understand the industry and the business. Same thing with video games, same thing with film. I'm always, I know you and I, Lafayette, talked a lot about these kind of things too.
Oh, yeah.
What are the rules that editors and directors live by? How do we determine what's what's the what? Why do we pick the colors we pick, or why the shapes and why the designs? And so I think that Superman was never really kind of meant to be anything more than an old school, early 1930s, 40s, just a fun character, not much different from Popeye.
A Boy Scout.
Right. But he's only a Boy Scout because they didn't know what to do with him. Batman was a little more fully formed, but even he's pretty flat. They're pretty two-dimensional characters, not nearly as diverse or interesting as like Wolverine, for example. It's like, oh, he's a mysterious guy. You can most of the guys you don't like in Marvel comics, they tend to be great DC characters. Like Captain America is kind of flat.
Yeah, he's a DC character. You're right. You're right, because the good characters you hold back a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't give. What's funny you say about Batman. Batman, we know everything about Batman. We know about the parents. Okay, that we know his fear and so on and so forth, and why he's Batman. There's no more to give us. There isn't. He's just in reality, he's a horrible detective. Not good.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up with like the Penguin, lock him up for a long time. I'll catch him next month. What do you mean you'll catch him next month? I need something to do. You know, like, and that's the thing about the movies, like Man of Steel. Did you guys like? I know Carlos loves Man of Steel. Elliot, did you like Man of Steel?
I hated Man of Steel.
Yes, you didn't like Man of Steel.
This show is over. Thanks, Elliot.
But I really do understand, though, especially after I've had many years to heal since those movies came out. Emotionally, I actually understand what the appeal is of that character, but why everyone felt like they really need to have him. To be honest, it was an earnest attempt in retrospect at giving that character some dimension, which otherwise previously couldn't have it. And that's why I think in the comic books, there's a reason why Batman. So we were talking about Marvel versus DC, like who would fit. Batman is actually a Marvel character for some of the stuff that he goes through.
Oh, because he goes through hell. Right.
He's challenged at a character level, and he gets beat up. But Superman is difficult because he was made to be like a genie out of a bottle. So, but in the Man of Steel film, I still feel like some of the characterization was a little off the tone, but they do. And by the way, I also don't think that this is an either or proposition. I actually think, your characters that are flat, they're fine. Like Flash Gordon, he was a flat character. Buck Rogers, those old strips, they're really kind of boring if you try to put them into like connect them with a Marvel team, right? But Star Wars characters are pretty flat. If you actually look at them, they all fill a certain role along.
Yeah, they fill a need for the story. Exactly.
Yeah, they're really kind of surface.
Like you couldn't put them out on their own and create a story around them because they fill their purpose for what they're there for.
Right. When you first meet Han Solo, he's a rootin' tootin',
gun shooting,
burrito
killing, shot first.
Right, one shot first.
Yeah, but what happens though is that, and you can see in those, that's a perfectly acceptable setup for those type of characters because the story's also kind of direct and very simple. Good versus evil.
It's almost like it's like fill in the blanks of the story. You know what I mean? Oh, Han fits here. Oh, this is a perfect spot for Luke right here. And,
right. Well, literally,
you're right.
Luke wears white, Vader wears black, and they're kind of
good and bad, and yeah. But, you're not wrong though, yeah.
But with Punisher, Wolverine, Spider-Man's super complicated, right? Spider-Man's got to figure out how to save everybody, but he's got to take care of his aunt. But he's really in love with Gwen Stacy. Maybe he's got in a love triangle with Mary Jane. Like it's a complicated freaking life.
How are his grades though?
That's another thing. That we're about the grades, and God forbid if he doesn't please J. Jonah Jameson. It's a very layered kind of character.
And how is it he only gets the photos of Spider-Man?
How does he do it? How is he on top of the Empire State Building?
That's another thing too about Clark. Does Clark only get? No, he gives those photos to Jimmy, doesn't he? Like he hooks Jimmy up with the photos.
Right.
Of Superman.
Jimmy gets the photos. Lois gets the story.
Lois gets the story. Yeah. I mean, it's and Lois lives off of Superman. If there's no Superman, I don't know.
That's true.
Now that's not in Man of Steel. In Man of Steel, they try to make it like she's, the the Pulitzer Prize. You know,
Yeah.
I'm undercover and I do this. But from the old movies and from the comic, if Superman didn't exist, she'd be writing obituaries.
Probably. But you get this interesting dichotomy. But I don't know that they're necessarily they have to be at odds with each other. I just think that one serves a very specific purpose, which is the more direct storytelling, good versus evil, which I think is where Superman thrives.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's why it's difficult. So when you're trying to give him a background story, his whole backlog is nothing but flat stories. And
he'll always save the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny you say that because is it Brian Bendis? Wait, is that right? Michael Bendis?
Michael.
Yeah.
So he got hired to write Superman probably like 5-6 years ago, and they made a big deal of it over at DC Comics. If you guys aren't aware, Michael Bendis is a huge writer in comic books. So they thought he's gonna come in and shape the whole thing, and I started buying him. Let me tell you something. Just like this, what you just said, he tried to create a story and drag it out as long as possible, and it was so goddamn boring. You're like, just punch something, Superman. I don't care anymore.
All right.
It's like, what are you doing? Why do you have feelings all of a sudden? Like,
Well, this is a question for Carlos. Carlos, which is your favorite Superman story? It's in the last 10, 20 years.
That's a damn good question, man.
I can tell you right away. I know. I bet when I tell you, like, yeah.
Well, if I had to pick one story, it was only because it's like a big deal for me when I got this. It was the Superman versus Muhammad Ali book.
Okay.
I had like I had the giant issue until my goddamn dog got a hold of it.
Neil Adams, man.
But
Kill
yeah,
that book.
I don't know why, but I'm recently reading the Tom King Up in the Sky Superman book.
Uh-huh.
He did 12 issues. Tom King, that book is so convoluted, man. It's so confusing. I'm like, Tom, stop. Just stop.
You think Tom King's a bad writer? How about the fellow that writes that heavy metal garbage, Scott Snyder?
Oh my god, that guy's horrible.
I don't know if he just writes because he picks stuff out of a hat. Like he takes suggestions from homeless people around the corner. Hey, write something on this post-it note. Okay, chainsaw for Wonder Woman. Okay, what else? And then
what if Batman was a leader of a heavy metal band?
Yeah, and then also what if Superman was not like stone? He's made out of stone now. I like all these ideas. I'm gonna write this in the book.
He's the Rob Liefeld of writers.
Rob, oh man, let's not even bother. Oh, but what's your favorite Superman story you can remember?
Absolutely, right on top of my head is All-Star Superman.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
man.
Here's what's interesting
good.
about that. All-Star Superman was written by arguably one of the most deconstructionist writers in comic book history, which is Grant Morrison. He's like a rock star in comic writing. He's a Scotsman, right?
Yeah, I think he's a Scotty.
A British version, his British counterpart, which is Alan Moore, also wrote one of the most highly regarded Superman stories, which is
which one did he write?
What Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And both of them treat Superman with such high regard that even though they're known for deconstruction comics like The Watchmen, Morrison wrote books like Final Crisis and all these stories where he's picking things apart and peeling apart these characters, trying to almost making fun of the characters.
Did he write Authority?
He
or am I thinking of? Wasn't it?
I think he did, or was it Miller? I think Miller wrote that.
Oh, might have been Mark. Is it Mark Miller, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And for everybody, for all you non-comic book people, if you've seen the movie Kick-Ass, he created Kick-Ass. All right, continue.
Wanted also.
Oh, Wanted. Yeah, he did. And what was the other one with the other movie series with Sam Jackson was in the first one. Come on. The Spies, the 007. The kid is in it. He's like recruited.
Oh, Kingsman.
Yeah. See, man, that guy. And now that guy is like gonna have like 20 shows on Netflix.
Oh yeah, he's a big deal. Yeah,
he is. He's a big deal, man. So,
but those guys, well, as much as they are supposed, like anyone was going to ruin Batman or Superman, those guys wouldn't, because they love if you look at All-Star Superman, it reads like an old Silver Age comic, which is comics from the 60s where they were much flatter than they are now. And yet he put in, he's such a good writer. He actually put an interesting story together with those same beats and tones.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that it's a difficult thing to write. Obviously, comic books, beyond when it's done well, it's difficult because you're playing around with ideas that have 60, 75 years of history, and yet you're trying to make them relevant to our modern time. So I gotta really do at the end. This might sound weird to some of you who have heard me talk before about movies, but I gotta tip my hat a little bit to the Snyder guy for trying as best he could with whoever his team of writers were for that Man of Steel movie and even Justice League.
David Goyer.
It's not easy to give that character a life beyond just being so powerful that he could move a planet out of orbit type of thing.
Well, yeah, and that's why Justice League, the one we saw, the theatrical cut, it was an hour and 50 minutes of Bruce trying to get a team together to beat Steppenwolf. And then Superman showed up and just kicked his ass in 10 minutes and said, "Oh, we're good, right? All right, gotta go, fellas." Like, you're like, damn it, man. Right. And now we're gonna get a 4-hour version of the movie in March where it's supposed to be like, here's a rumor, okay? Here's a rumor. Okay. Now you guys will be like, what the hell? Here's a rumor. Okay. Supposedly.
It's the rumor segment.
Supposedly, just real quick about this Justice League movie coming out.
Deadpool's
Aquaman and Wonder Woman die in the movie at the end. The Darkseid kills them.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes, that was the original.
That's why there's no sequel.
That's why the supposedly that's what. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see his recut because he's only using 20 minutes of what Josh Whedon gave us. Think about that. 20 minutes.
But didn't the Aquaman movie come after Justice League? Isn't the timeline after Justice League?
Yeah. I said it's a rumor. Okay.
Well, you're the worst.
Yeah, I'm the worst at rumors.
You just told me that Santa Claus isn't real.
Are you sad that Aquaman or Wonder Woman dies though?
Aquaman.
Okay.
I actually think Aquaman was a much more interesting movie. But I mean, think about this though. Like, man, I'm disappointed. Actually, I'm really sad right now because I feel pretty right most of the time about this kind of stuff.
Well, you know what? Let's take a break here as these two dry their eyes and as they figured out the death of Wonder Woman 84, which died on HBO Max when it came out. We'll be right back here on Nerds Talking, the podcast.
I think the problem with Superman really is that, he's no one can kill Superman. No matter, you can kill him, and you can have a funeral. You could say, your thoughts and prayers and whatnot. And, you can bring a gift to Lois and be, I'm sorry for your loss, but he's going to come back. And then when that happens, you go back to their house and I'm sorry to bother you, Lois. But remember that toaster I gave you? I saved the receipt. Can I have that back? Because the clock's right there, and I know he's Superman, so I need to return that. And one more thing, Clark, tornadoes. Watch out for tornadoes. All right, back to the show, everybody. Nerds Talking the podcast.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking, the podcast. We gave you a whole Superman segment, which is great. I love Superman, so talking Superman is good for me. Never, ever in doubt. Let's talk quick with the movies. Which ones did you like, don't care to come back and see?
Well, I got a rumor for you from Justice League.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wait, the new Justice League, of course.
Yeah.
Don't give us
4
an
hours.
old one.
No, yeah, the old one.
Okay, go ahead.
No, the new. Yeah, I heard the Wonder Twins are in it.
No, shut up.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, I just made it up. It's a rumor.
Well, you know what? That's how rumors start. That is true.
I'm literally popping open my whiskey to drink.
I see that. Can't handle anymore.
I mean,
I heard Gleek gets killed.
Gleek. Oh,
Gleek.
man.
Oh.
Gleek. If Gleek dies, Pete is gonna be upset.
If Gleek dies, who's gonna carry the bucket of water?
You think Peter was upset when all those? I'm pretty sure a lot of fish died in Aquaman.
When his dad's truck got washed away. Think of all the fish that got washed up on shore. He's like, Billy, Phil, get back in the water.
And then Peter's out there protesting Aquaman movies. Not fair to fish. He talks to fish. Goddammit. Shut up.
He tried to save him. That was
He tried to save him. Yeah, Aquaman. Movies though. What's the first superhero movie you saw? And what's your favorite? And what's a movie that you went in with high expectations and walked out just like, wow, that was a turd fest? What was the first one you guys can remember seeing? I would probably guess it's Superman. Like one of
Superman
those.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the first one I remember seeing.
that probably is the first one. Although I think I didn't see I don't know. I don't remember. I think I may have seen the Superman on was it ABC?
You know what I remember seeing as a kid was those really bad Spider-Man movies they came out with in the like early
yeah.
80s.
Yeah, but that was a TV show. Does that count as a movie?
Well, they did make movies out of it though.
They
But they were
just
made for
long
but
TV
they were
shows.
but they were just
They're
made
like-
for TV. Yeah.
Yes.
Weren't they just drawn out episodes that they just put together, right? And put on VHS or some shit.
Probably.
Well, if you bought the bootlegs.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Those are bad. Those are real bad.
Remember the first Doctor Strange movie? Made for TV movie?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a bad one.
That's about
That's a bad one. That one's bad. There's some really bad ones because we know besides Batman and Superman, Marvel went straight to DVD. Not my mistake, not DVD to VHS.
HS. Yeah.
Straight to bootleg.
Straight to
Oh, yeah.
bootleg with
Yeah. Fantastic Four,
Punisher, Fantastic
Captain
Four,
America.
Cap.
No, Punisher was a real movie.
Yeah.
No, it was a real
Dolph
movie.
Lundgren.
It was a movie.
Yeah.
No,
The theater?
Punisher.
The
Yeah.
theater?
Oh, that was so bad. The Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
movie.
Some people say it's better than the other ones.
Some people are stupid.
Who are these people you know of? Please write a list down.
Let me drink some more.
Give me
This
their
is-
numbers. I will call them personally.
I would call them
Look,
person.
stupid. The only
I
thing
will
that was
call-
Punisher in that movie was a dagger. It had a skull on it, and that's it.
That's it. Not even that. I'll call Spielberg and ask you ever thought of a sequel to Schindler's List? I have a new list for you.
Well, let's go through. What do we got? We got He-Man. That was a super.
Oh, Masters of the
Oh,
Universe.
shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that was a first of all, was it bad when you saw it? Or was it or did Skeletor make up for it? Because he was pretty cool.
He was pretty cool. I think
Pretty
He-Man
cool.
looked cool.
Oh,
Lundgren-
He-Man did look good.
Lundgren as He-Man was a good choice.
Man-at-Arms didn't look too bad.
No, Tila was kind of cute.
Yeah, that was okay. The new character they introduced,
Instead
A
of
little-
Orc, they had that goofy troll-looking dude. From
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
dumb. That was
and
dumb.
then the instrument they used to like travel interdimension or whatever it was, where
Cosmic flute or something.
yeah, it
Oh,
was weird.
yeah,
It was like
weird.
it was like a saxophone, something like that. That was weird.
But it was one of the first appearances of the girl from Friends,
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox. That was, I think, her
She
first.
is. She's one of the main stars in that movie. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
yeah,
cute.
yeah.
She was also on a TV show called The Misfits of Science. That was very X-Men-y. You remember that show?
No, that one I don't remember. She was on that show, huh?
I'll send you.
Misfits. YouTube it, everybody. I'm pretty sure it's on there.
Yeah.
Misfits of Science. So how about, like I said, your favorite superhero movie? One that you think trumps all. It comes on, you watch it.
Dark
you know,
Knight.
Dark Knight. We got Dark Knight on the board. Elliot, Dark Knight made the board.
I'm gonna go with Christopher Reeve Superman, the first one. That's still my favorite.
Superman 1
Good
on the
It's comic
board.
movie.
Okay. I'd either go with Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Or Dark Knight. Either or, because those are very story driven.
Mhm.
Those movies are really good. The reason why Winter Soldier is so awesome, I did not expect the Hydra twist at all when I was in the theater.
I agree. Yeah. I agree
Yeah,
too.
at all. You're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
but what's the movie that you walked in going, this is gonna be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life? I'm gonna witness something that is gonna just change my whole outlook on life. And you walked out and you're like, well, that didn't work out.
Well, what if I got out and I thought I liked it for like a week and then I realized it was bad?
That happens too. Where
Yeah.
you walk out and then you go, wait, no, that's stupid. Oh, okay. I'll give you two of them. You can do that, and you can do one. You just walked out going, that was garbage.
I did not. I ended up hating Ang Lee's Hulk.
Mm.
I wanted to love it
That
so
was
bad.
Mm.
I wanted
Okay,
to love it so
okay.
bad.
And that was your high expectation movie, huh?
Yeah, that was the highest expectation I had, and because of the expectation was so high, and because there was very few superhero movies at the time,
Yeah.
I just kind of I thought I had to like it because I was going to lose my nerd card. But Turns out it was like unanimous. Everybody hated that movie.
Okay.
I got to think about the one I went in. I don't go
Yeah.
to the movies often.
Well,
so I don't know which one
we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. How about you, Carlos? Name one that you went in thinking it was gonna be the greatest thing ever, and you just were like, "F that," and never gonna bother again.
Well, just real quick about the Ang Lee Hulk. I tried to give it, man, yeah, that was cool. He tried to make it look like a comic book. He had the panels going everywhere, right? And I thought, yeah, that's kind of, but I was like, no. It was at the end, the Nick Nolte scene, him fighting his dad. I'm like, no, just burn the theater down now. Burn it down.
yeah.
They tried hard, man. They tried hard.
I mentioned this before in a previous podcast. It's Wolverine Origins. What a shit fest that was.
Yeah, but did you walk in with high expectations?
I did, because they said Gambit was in it. Daredevil, Deadpool was in it. And then all of a sudden I got this. I was like, yeah, no, but that was horrible. I mean, Gambit was stupid.
Yeah.
I like that
was
movie.
stupid.
You
liked
that
it?
movie?
God damn, you
What's
love
going
canceling podcasts. This show is over for real this time.
That movie was so bad. Here's
How
the
much
thing.
whiskey did you drink?
So I walked out. Okay, X-Men is mine. Okay,
Really?
X-Men is mine.
Is that
I remember-
you thought it was good? It was bad.
High
or-
expectations and going, that was garbage. I remember walking out of X-Men going, that was just, what's up with these horrible costumes? What is up with these? Like everything seems so second rate garbage, and it just wasn't good. The whole scene on Empire, no, it was a Statue of Liberty. The whole thing, it was, and what's funny is that kind of doubles also as a, oh, that was so cool, and then going, oh, it's trash. But only saying that to people that thought it was cool too. Did you like it? Yeah, I thought it was like. Then in my room, I cried. I didn't like it. I'm lying. I'm a liar, because it was just horse shit. I didn't. I don't think there's one X-Men movie I actually like. Oh well, my bad. Yes, there is. First Class.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
First Class is excellent. So there's that's my letdown. I mean, Batman '89 is also my letdown, but
that was gonna be my letdown.
But
I thought it was good until I walked to my car. I go, what the hell did I just?
No, I was the same.
You guys are wrong.
I walked out of Batman '89. At first, I was only 10 years old, so you thought it was good, and then you walked out. I walked out going, "That is no. I'm sorry. That it was too campy. It was just I didn't."
Well, see,
I didn't, but there's a difference. Then that's what they wanted. You know what I mean? Tim Burton was the hot director. DC Warner Brothers wanted just to sell Batman. Like, hey, make Batman cool, make him like mainstream more than he is now. And he did that. He definitely did that. And they carried that damn thing for 5 movies. And before it got totally bad. But what movie now you walked in going, this is gonna be awesome, and walked out going, nah, I'm good.
So I'll give you my runner-ups.
Ooh.
I thought Batman and Robin was going to be good.
Yeah.
I was fooled.
Weren't we all?
I thought this one's not fair, but I knew it wasn't going to be good, so this might have to make the list. But Amazing Spider-Man, I hated it.
The first
That's
one,
the
Garfield, Andrew
one?
Garfield.
The first Andrew Garfield. I didn't like the second one much either, but I liked it better than the first one.
Got
the
it.
one that wins it is Spider-Man 3.
Oh
yes.
That one,
Spider-Man 3.
That was the
Worst-
disappointed one.
The worst
Okay.
casting for Venom. Oh man, Topher Grace should have fell off the building.
that one definitely deserves like top honor. Spider-Man 3 was horrible.
That's true. It's kind of hard to top that.
It's hard to top Spider-Man 3. I walked into, well, you know what? Not that. I was gonna say, here's a runner-up for you. Black Panther's a runner-up for me.
Really?
Huh, really?
Wow.
I walked out of Black Panther going, it's okay. You know, it's the hype is bigger than the movie itself.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the hype is much bigger than the movie. To me, was very simple plot. It was very Lion King like. You know, the father died, and then the cousin wants to take over, and he goes into hiding for a little bit while he, recovers and doesn't want to show face, and Then he comes back to take back the throne. Hey, Lion King, good job. And
yeah, you're right.
But that's okay. I mean, again, but that's my runner-up. But the one that I think I walked into, where I was like, this is gonna be awesome, and I walked out going, and this is all based on previews. It's got to be Batman versus Superman because the previews made it seem like this is gonna kick ass, and
No,
at
that's true.
some points it kicked ass. We always I always say the Batman scene in the warehouse.
Yep.
The most badass Batman scene ever.
Ever.
Like that's Batman.
Oh yeah.
Batman. If you give me 90 minutes of him just going warehouse to warehouse doing that, all because he didn't get his Amazon order in time, and he finally finds it. Alfred, you'll find it, Master Bruce. Yes, I found it. Finally, I can cut my hair now with a Flowbee. I'll be right back. 90 minutes of just looking for his Flowbee order. I will watch that movie. The saddest part is he kicks only Amazon employees' asses. That is it. But that'll probably be my number one movie of all time.
That's hilarious.
How about you, Carlos?
That's a good. No, something that I really had high expectations for, and when I came out, I was like, "Oh my god, why?" As Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, the second one, the sequel.
The sequel, the Bane. Rises. Sorry, Rises.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises was. Oh my god!
See, I can't even get the title right. That's how bad it was.
That's not a good movie.
Yeah,
that movie has 5 minutes of Batman, maybe.
Yeah.
That movie.
Oh, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah. So hard. Man, but there's a lot of movies like that. I didn't have high expectations for any Fantastic Four movie. So I wasn't ever disappointed, but they weren't good. But I wasn't.
Silver Surfer looked cool.
He did look cool, and I always tell people this: the first half of the latest Fantastic Four movie is really good. The second half is like, wow, what the hell happened?
Yes, it's caca.
Yeah, it's so trash. Other movie, but how about movies that you weren't expecting anything out of, and you're like, that was really good? I'm gonna go with Blade, the first Blade. I didn't expect it to be anything else. I just thought it was gonna be cool. It's Wesley Snipes, he's a vampire hunter. That movie kicked ass.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think. You're giving me hard questions tonight, man.
I know it. I'm hoping you take a while to think, because I'm thinking over here too.
I think even, to be honest, even which the movie's good. Everybody agrees the movie's good. Doesn't matter who you ask. But the third Thor movie, I walked in and was going, okay, yeah, this is gonna probably be okay. It was so damn good.
Ragnarok.
But I didn't have high expectations. But I walked out going, holy crap, that's that makes a high, like, Marvel movies. That's like my top 3.
Same here. Did you see the pictures of him in the costume he's wearing?
Yeah,
the latest one.
New pictures. Yeah.
He's got the blue pants and the yellow straps. Baby.
You noticed? Yeah, you noticed that he's rocking that 80s. Was it the 90s costume?
He's. You know what I think he's wearing? Is wearing the Eric Masterson. That's Thunderstruck.
Yeah. Thunderstruck.
He's wearing his vest.
Yeah.
He's got the blue pants on.
Yeah. And you notice how big he is.
Huge, man.
You know why he's that big?
Because he's steroids.
Hulk Hogan.
Because the Hulk Hogan biopic he's gonna film right afterwards. That's right. He's getting super bulked up. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that gonna be a comedy?
You know what, brother? You don't say that to me, brother.
Say your prayers.
All right. Well, that was our movie segment. That was fun. It was a good time. Spawn sucked. Everybody remember, Spawn movie sucked. We can all agree. Is that good?
Yes.
All right. As Elliot takes this 8th shot of whiskey. Good Lord, man. We'll be right back here on Nerds Talking the Podcast.
After I watch the Fantastic Four movies, I tend to drink a lot of alcohol too, to rest my memory. And other movie like that is, you remember that movie with The Punisher, with Dolph Lundgren? Man, I was black-eyed drunk after watching that movie. Did not want to remember that one at all. And then, Captain Marvel kind of did that for me too, but I got a little bit high, you know what I mean? Back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. We are talking comic books, from movies to comics to characters we love, movies we love and hate, here with Carlos and Elliot. And we're going to talk about movie villains, or just villains in general, and why they're so stupid, because they don't ever accomplish their goal.
The Joker did.
What did the Joker do?
Heath Ledger?
I mean, he did create chaos.
Created chaos. He did.
Yeah.
He did. And he did. When you think about it, he did reach his end game because when he got caught, he might have made it sound like that's fine by me. We're both into this, right, Batman? This is fun.
Right. Yeah. His line was, "We're destined to do this forever," until I take some Ambien and fall asleep with my face down on the carpet. Show over.
Yeah, show.
That's the problem with real life stories, is that they have real life problems.
Right.
Like, you know,
Right.
if Star Wars was any deeper than what it was, Luke Skywalker would have lost his hand and he would have just been crying for 45 minutes about, with PTSD, how he lost his hand, and how's he gonna use the bathroom now, all kinds of problems.
Oh, could you? Yeah. A
Whole
whole like
great question. It's a good thing his hand was really sensitive at the end there because he was like, checking it. Because what if he like reached too deep, to wipe his, and he's like, "Ugh," it's like,
Yeah. It's an enema waiting to happen.
I mean, you're right though. What if there was a whole like 30 minutes of Empire Strikes Back where it was just him getting fit for a prosthesis, a fake hand, and the doctor's like, "Hey, can you come back like a week? We're gonna have to size you up. Come back."
Right. And every time he heard a lightsaber come on, he'd freak out.
Like he freaks out because it's a
PTSD,
flashback, and every time people ask him, "What happened to your hand?" My damn dad did this to me, man. Like,
That's
what?
another thing. My dad cut off my hand. That's child abuse.
He's tried to kill me numerous times. He even blew up a planet. God damn it!
That's a Oprah Winfrey channel.
Yeah.
Right there.
My dad's the worst. Like that's just
Next on Dr.
Him on
Phil.
Yeah, it would have been him on a couch talking to a psychiatrist the whole time.
I mean, we'll throw this. Did the Emperor in Star Wars accomplish his goal? Because the way they made it in the last Star Wars movie seems like he accomplished his goal.
He's a terrible villain.
Let's not talk about Star Wars
Okay, we'll stick to superhero.
unless it's the original 3.
You know who achieved his goal? Thanos achieved his goal.
He did.
And then
He did.
what did the Avengers have to do? Get a DeLorean and screw it all up.
I've decided I don't like those movies anymore.
How can you decide at this point? You can't
3
go
drinks
back.
in, man. 3 drinks in, you can decide anything.
No, I'm serious. I don't like Thanos. I never liked Thanos. That's why I was kind of like, it just finally clicked to me. Like, why was I not impressed with those last 2 movies? I didn't see remember I told you I wasn't going to watch that last one?
I know. Did you ever see it? Endgame?
I finally did, and I did not like it.
But you got to admit, though, when Captain America picked up that hammer,
That was pretty
a little
exciting.
fanboy.
No, I don't like Chris Evans, so he.
Okay.
Oh.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
It wasn't him.
Strike 3. We're done. Thank you for listening. Nerds Talking the podcast.
Yeah, I'm bringing the controversy.
You know what I did like about those movies when it comes to villains, though, is the fact that it was Thanos the whole time. You know what I mean? Like they did build it up well, like in the sense of he's behind everything. About like that was I could appreciate that.
But the Avengers are villains. When they brought everyone back, think about the lives they destroyed. I mean, say your loved one or whatever was missing for 5 years, right? So you moved on in life, new relationship. You moved into the empty house next door that you really liked because those people are gone. All of a sudden, 5 years later, everybody's back, and you're like, "What the f do I do?"
That
you're
is true,
put in the
though.
middle of like, "What?"
Like imagine if like one of your kids and your wife disappeared during that whole thing, and you got remarried, had like 2 other kids. All of a sudden, they come back and they haven't left. Like they pick up right when they left off.
Right where they left, yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, I'm Peter. What have you been up to?" Oh shit! Like, god damn it! Like,
What about those people that were flying in the airplane?
Better hope the pilot didn't disappear.
that's true. The pilot though, it comes down.
Did the airplane get snapped back into?
Well, remember when they come back?
They all just
Oh my
appeared in
god!
a
What if
row.
they just appeared back in the air, just in the air? Oh, and they just fall. Thank you. Now I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Oh man,
You
good
got a
point.
You got a point.
There's a lot though. There's a lot that could happen during that snap. You're right about that. What if you're in the middle of an accident or something like drowning, and you come back, you continuously drown? All right.
What if you're But what if you're in the middle of sex and all of a sudden the person just disappears and you're like, "What did I just? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
They disappeared.
Oh,
I blew him up."
and then you reach into your nightstand and there's the sex stone. You're like, "Thank you, sex stone."
That was the seventh stone or whatever.
Yeah, the seventh. Thanos is like, "Where's the seventh stone?" It's the sex stone, sir. Oh no, he can keep it. He's cool. He's cool.
He's got the stones to do it.
Yeah.
But then
he's-
5 years later, some random chick shows up moaning and whatever in your bed naked because she just got snapped back. Thanks, Avengers.
But what if she comes back? No one's in the bed. See.
What if she comes back? She's in the bed, but you've remarried, and now your new wife's like, "What the hell is this chick doing here?"
That's right.
Mm.
That's right.
And she shows up like in the middle of the night, and in between the two of you. Like,
Now,
who's broken
this is
our
the
house?
thing.
Who's this
You're
You're
naked
saying
lady?
that you're saying the Avengers ruined a lot of lives because they went back and saved a bunch of lives, right?
Really, did they save anybody? They didn't
They
save.
think they saved lives.
But
Stupid smart Hulk.
I mean, did we really need some of those heroes back? Give or take, maybe. I don't know if we needed all of them. You know, all we needed was Tony. I guess he saved everyone.
He's my favorite one of the whole group. He's gone.
You know what? There's no bad Tony Stark in Marvel movies. Like
He's
you know what I mean?
great.
Yeah,
He's my favorite thing in those movies.
Oh, he's great, man. And Ruffalo's a great Hulk. I say Banner, I should say. You don't like Ruffalo so much? Yeah, he's been in Norton, or
They soured me, man, with that smart Hulk nonsense.
Well, 5 years later, you never know what you're gonna get.
And because that actually looks and sounds like Ruffalo, I'm like, I forget him.
Oh, it was dead on. It was Ruffalo. Yeah.
This is real life. That's how he talks in real life.
Yeah. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
weird.
It was just him. Yeah. But we're
Ruffalo's
going back
soft.
on the villains. Who's the villain? Who's
the villains?
the loser villain? And who's the worst villain in all superhero movies and comics?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Well, we're not going with Kevin Spacey himself. Plus, he was a horrible Lex Luthor. I mean, the fact that movie was a sequel to Superman 2 is stupid. Okay.
But who's the worst Lex Luthor? Eisenberg or Spacey? Not as a character, not as a person. So we're going person. Spacey's obviously.
Eisenberg is my least favorite.
Yeah. I think Spacey was a good casting.
Yeah.
Who was the original? It was Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Spacey's better than Hackman casting wise.
What
Hackman
about Michael Rosenbaum?
He was good.
Oh,
good.
he was okay. I mean, the thing is that it was such a small set type of thing, and I don't know. Was he
Pretty good, man. He was evil on that show.
He was good.
Yeah.
I think the show was drawn out too long, but initially he was good Lex Luthor.
Smallville, everyone. Just let you guys know. Fill you in. Smallville. Okay. I mean,
Eisenberg, I think, is the worst.
he is the worst, but that's how they wanted to play him. You know what I mean? The maniacal Facebook owner. That's what he was. He was the maniacal Facebook owner, like the maniacal millennium.
He was a weird cast though for that. I mean, yeah, I
He
guess
was a
you're
weird.
right, but
He was a
I
weird.
don't know. I mean, you have Superman. That guy looks like he's 47 years old. Batman's got gray hair, and you get this kid as the villain.
Yeah, kids are smart
And
these
then
days.
he wasn't even consistent. Like he did a lot of that kind of thing. He was like,
when he's like, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. You're like, oh, what the? Like, what is this?
and he's shaking his hands.
Yeah, I'm
Those
surprised
jazz hands.
I'm surprised if someone to come up to him, sir, the clown acts later. You can't be on the floor right now. I think the worst villain, I guess, loser villain. That's how we're looking at it. Which villain you're like, that was kind of a waste. Who was a villain where you're like,
Well, you mentioned it earlier. Blade. Deacon Frost was lame.
Deacon Frost was pretty lame
blood,
though.
The blood god, whatever he was, the big.
Steven
big
Dorff.
general.
Yeah.
He was rough.
Yeah.
He was a cool villain throughout the movie, though.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. His idea was smart. He just didn't work out for him. And he got stuck with all the needles, blew up. He didn't figure that part out.
He didn't plan on turning into Kool-Aid, though.
I guess the worst villains have to be the ones in the Schumacher movies. When it comes to, like, just straight garbage.
Yeah.
Like
Freeze was rough.
Freeze is probably the worst. Probably the worst.
Well, there was 3 different villains, and they're all neck and neck.
They're all bad. Oh, how
Ivy was
bad?
bad.
Okay,
Bane was bad?
okay? But is Two-Face any better? Is Riddler any better? Think about the concept of Riddler and what they were trying to do: suck out people's mind or something through box tops or some shit.
But see, you gotta go back to that though, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's the
You've heard me
campiness.
argue this.
Yeah,
The
it's the
reason-
campiness.
that movie was an homage to the Adam West movies.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Those movies in general that's what they were.
Yeah.
They were
But
campy. I mean, look at the Robin scene when they're climbing like the fake Alcatraz, and what does he say? Like, holy something.
Holy rusted metal, Batman.
Yeah,
Holy
holy
rusted
rusted-
metal. Yeah.
And he turns back, he's like, what, Robin? No, really, holy rusted metal. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Hole
yeah.
in the middle.
But I will say though that if you listen to the plot, like when I work now, I don't watch a lot of movies, but I'll play them in the background. So
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of new movies because I don't want to miss up on the visuals. But when I watched that recently, and that one actually had a really smart story, really interesting dialogue. It's just the visuals ruined it.
they're horrible. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I
That's
guarantee when they were writing those movies and plotting them out, they sounded great. And then they put them on film. And you're like, oh, why do we have this so much neon? Like, what is going on here? And why is it the way to beat Two-Face is simple? Hey, Robin, grab those 10 quarters real quick. I got a plan. Like what? Like,
Can you bring your coin purse?
like that's it.
We're
That
gonna
was his
need it.
plan. And I hate when Two-Face talks to Batman, but he talks to him as Harvey,
He turns
Yeah, like
to one
Bruce,
side and then to
we were
the other
friends
side.
before, Bruce. Blah blah blah. Like he could turn into the Joker real quick, and you're like, oh my God.
Because I think he was the Joker. I think he was trying to do Caesar Romero.
That's what I think. Nicholson.
At least he could have kept a mustache on over the makeup.
Oh, Caesar
Is it-
Romero? Oh,
Yeah, because they killed off the Joker in the first movie, which is always
Yeah.
the problem with these movies. They always kill off the villains, and they're like, guys. So when Schumacher comes in, he's like, I want to do the 66 Batman
yeah.
show, but the main one of the favorite villains was him. So they literally got this guy to do the Frank Gorshin Joker. I'm sorry, Riddler. That was what's his
that's
name?
true.
Harry's
Yeah.
thing. He even wears a costume. And then this guy, he's acting like if you listen to him laugh, he laughs and talks like Caesar Romero's Joker. And then
Oh yeah, big time.
so it would, but I think it's because they killed the last one, but so he didn't act like a Two-Face. He acted more like the Joker in those movies.
Oh, big time, maniacal
Definitely.
as hell, and
yeah. Two-Face is supposed to be real serious and
yeah.
morbid.
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't care for Two-Face in Dark Knight. And the reason why is because he's Two-Face for 10 minutes. He's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he
Like-
deserved his own movie probably.
We know Two-Face. Two-Face turns into basically a mobster, He basically turns into like a crime mobster. We got 5 minutes of Joker walking into the hospital and create chaos. Okay. F it. I'm half my face is burned off.
His role in the film was excellent though. As Harvey.
It's great. Yeah,
He's
I mean,
awesome.
man, that movie is really, that's a good movie. That the fact that Batman has his suit has function, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a military tactical outfit, and his car is also a military vehicle, blah blah. Like, and the whole idea that when Enterprises does that, they build military stuff. Why not just use it? Like, screw it. It's to my advantage, I'm like, that's pretty smart. It gives us an idea of where he gets his stuff and why it exists, and not like in the comics where we're always thinking Alfred builds everything,
That's true.
which makes no sense to me.
But what
Like,
about the generals that got the presentation? Hey, isn't that the thing that they showed us from?
you would think so. You would think.
Huh.
Is that what was it called? The Tumbler?
Yeah, that's a
Tumblr.
Tumbler, right?
Yeah, isn't that
Hey,
a
Colonel.
Tumbler?
Colonel
No,
Jackson.
no. Ours is brown khaki camouflage. It's
Yeah.
not
Oh.
black.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
black.
okay, that's good. You're right.
Yeah,
Forget about it.
yeah.
My bad, my
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
my bad.
yeah. And
Wait,
what was
isn't that suit that we're supposed to use?
No.
for-
Ours doesn't have a bat symbol on it.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And the belt has suspenders. Okay.
And that's
Belt-
for spelunking.
Right.
See?
Right.
See, nice
fuck,
try. Nice
Keep
try.
going, guys. You got it.
Yeah, because I could imagine Bruce like walking downstairs with like his cup of whiskey. He always talks like this no matter what, and then he's like, Alfred. He's like, yes, Master Bruce. Build a car. I need a motorcycle. If you get a chance, 6 suits, 1 for underwater, 1 for space. I'll be upstairs. Like he's like, Master Bruce, that might take years. It's fine. I have nothing to do.
It's more, 30 days. The next issue comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Make
be
it
upstairs
snappy.
practicing my kung fu-y. My Hong Kong fu-y. Like,
By the way, it took the highest ninja master 26 years just to learn one move.
right?
I'm gonna do that kung fu,
Huh?
judo, jujitsu,
Everything.
everything.
And then he turns
But
to
I'm
him,
a
Master
fun
Bruce,
guy."
would you like to also have a gun?
He
Guns.
slaps him.
First of all, I killed no one. how about the Joker? He's killed thousands. That's okay. I won't kill him either.
I got these guns.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
got these guns. I got these. These are good enough for Chuck Norris. They're good enough for me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got another bad villain for you.
Yeah.
A little more contemporary.
Okay.
Well, actually, you mentioned something earlier. It's either the Mandalorian, the Wonder Woman 84, or the mustache Ares from the first Wonder Woman. He was terrible.
Wait. We're talking about the villains,
yeah.
right?
The villain.
Wait, so
Ares,
you're going with Ares? You're going
Ares is
with
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
had
yep.
that- He just had that British mustache. He looked
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Mustache,
Okay,
yeah.
we got Ares. We got Wonder Woman 84.
And
Those are
yeah,
the two. Those are the two you're putting up.
Those are and that's same character movies, and both have terrible villains. Why
The
is
thing, the thing about the first Wonder Woman though, Ares was played well until the end because he was part of like the plot of, he was a good guy. We thought he was a good guy, the whole time. You know what I mean? And
And
telling them, oh yeah, this is where they're attacking. Go here, go here. You know what I mean? Like this is dangerous. Don't go there. And then you find out he's the bad guy. He just looked like shit at the end of the movie. The effects were so
Terrible.
garbage and it was trash. And the director didn't want any of that. But of course, they're like, you need to have a big ending. And as for
Dude.
Max Lord, man, oh man, just man. Hold on. I wish they didn't make that movie.
I want to see the origin story about his kid.
Yeah.
How he met with him.
How now I want to see his story. Yeah, make a sequel about Max Lord and his kid now living in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere in like Ohio. And he just like, I had it all, son. I had it all for about, how long was that movie? I had it that long.
Like 90 minutes.
90 minutes. And this cheetah lady tried to help me. And and Wonder Woman, who for some reason wants to be a secret. She doesn't want to be in public eye. She ruined it all just by crying in the corner like a little girl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why was she hiding? Why did she have to hide? You know why?
Look,
Because Bruce Wayne had to figure her out. That's why.
what's that? Number one, that's true.
That's
But
true.
number two also is she won the battle by whimpering and crying in the corner talking to Max Lord. There's no big fight. It was just, Max, don't do this. That's not you. And Max is like, you're right. I wish everything
You think
came
I'm
back.
listening to you?
Yeah. I just, oh man, you're right. Max Lord was, man, that movie was just bad. Let's not harp on it, but it was bad.
How about I got another one for you.
Yeah.
How about Robot Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Robot Rhino.
Can we count it? Because this is he's only at the end, isn't he?
Yeah, he's wearing a robot suit.
No, it's crap. Don't get me wrong. And it looks bad. You go back and see the CGI. Paul Giamatti looks like he's floating in it. It looks really bad. I mean, Electro sucked too. And
Electro
he
was
wasn't as
horrible.
bad as Giamatti.
no, but that served no purpose. Why'd they bother? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Spider-Man 3. Why didn't you just leave it at Sandman and that's it? Would have been just fine. Of course, got to sell merchandise, so Venom has to be in it. You know what I'm saying?
Have you read? Says we have to do this. No.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
that's what it is. Yeah, that's right. AV Arad or whatever. He was in charge then. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Whatever.
wanted- that's the story. He wanted him in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are some other bad ones? There's a bunch of bad ones.
Oh, there's a ton of bad ones.
Oh, look, Kingpin. Michael Clark Duncan's Kingpin
You didn't like him?
in Daredevil.
You know,
I just didn't understand the casting. And I don't know.
You know why? Because he's a big dude.
It's a big dude. Yeah.
It's hard to cast Kingpin. Think about it. Look at the Kingpin in the Daredevil
Well, in
TV
TV show, yeah, he's
Garbage.
horrible. He has like Down syndrome or something.
Yeah, and he's
Oh,
crying
you
all
don't
the
like that guy?
yeah. Well, he's
No,
crying all the
horrible.
time, and he's whining, and
Okay,
like, why are you always whining about your wife or your like? Shut up, you wuss.
because I love her.
Yeah, no matter
Because
what.
I
That's
need to
it.
be with her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how he spoke too.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Why do you talk to me like that? He's enunciating.
Yeah. And I hated him so much.
I liked them okay, but I liked his wife more. She was this was her the fox, silver fox or something like that, Vivica Fox. I forget her Vivica Fox. I found her out, but she's a specific character. She was also Lara in Man of Steel.
Oh,
yeah, I remember. It's like, where did I see her from? She was Laura Laura L. whatever.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, she was. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Go back and
Man of
watch
Steel.
She's beautiful.
Oh, to give Carlos an excuse to go back and watch Man of Steel. Like,
Oh yeah.
wait, in Man of Steel, did you see the part when Superman, like he fell in the water and like they fished him out or whatever? Remember that part?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a reason to go back and watch it. That's all.
Oh.
Who cares?
Do you remember when Zack Snyder was saying that, there's a whale in the background that's supposed to be an allusion to Aquaman?
Yes.
Right. That was dumb.
And there was a toaster that was supposed to be Cyborg.
Yep. And there was a Tumbler that drove by, and that was Batman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a letter T.
Yeah, that's all it was, just a T. And then he ate Wonder Bread at home, Wonder Woman. It all adds up. I knew the clues were all there.
Landed on love.
Oh man. Okay, we'll take one more break here. We'll be right back with Nerds Talking the Podcast.
I think if Batman was a real person, he probably wouldn't, just arrest people. I think he'd probably kill him because, well, the Joker's killed many people. Why would you keep putting him in jail and then he escapes and then you gotta do it all the way? I see now. He wants to keep doing what he's doing because then if he arrests everybody, he can't be Batman no more, and then he can't have the fun at nighttime running around in costumes. Okay, don't kill anybody, Batman. I see what you're doing. Good job. Back to the show, everybody. They're talking the podcast.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast, here with our comic book show with Carlos and Elliot. And let's get into real quick with Elliot. Let's get into what you're doing, what you're working on, what everybody can where they can find you, and what's your project. Also, your favorite artist, maybe currently. I'm not sure if you have current favorite artists, but
I do.
But yeah, let us know what are you working on at the moment for your projects.
Well, I'm working on right now a Indiegogo project that I successfully funded called Doom Kicker. Doom Kicker is a supernatural adventure story with this guy who kind of looks like me. He's chubby, and lovey. That's a little extra, but no, he's just a regular guy who works as a security guard who has like an unfulfilled life, and he wants to do more and wants to live up to his father's legacy, who was the sheriff of this town in West Virginia, and he uncovers in the process of trying to get a job at the sheriff's station a conspiracy, a supernatural paranormal conspiracy that's been going on in the town. And he is the one to fix the problem and save the earth.
Nice.
Via West Virginia.
Nice. And it's called Doom Kicker.
Doom Kicker. It's still active on Indiegogo, but I'm currently I had to put it on pause for a while for a variety of reasons. Some of it to do with the virus and other personal things, but I'm back on it. And I've been doing pretty good, actually. Have you noticed any of those pictures?
I have. He's been cranking them out. This man's on a mission.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
He's doing everything. He's drawing it. He's inking it. Aren't you coloring it?
I'm coloring it, and I'm going to letter it.
And you're going to letter it? Also, are you going to bind it? Did you bind up paper?
I'm going to lick I'm putting the glue, putting my saliva, and I'm going to stick it. So some of the covers might be crooked, but it's going to be all right.
The best part is we'll get some issues where it's like after page 3, it's page 46. Like, wait. Or not even that. He got to the point where he sticks post-it notes in and goes, choose your own adventure. Just you can go to this page or this page. You're like, wait, it's not coherent. Just do what you want. I don't care. Yeah. Half these books, I was drinking too much whiskey that night. I glued a bunch of old comic books into it. I'm like, on page 36, there's a Hulk page. You're like, what?
Oh, where's the Blue Devil? Like, what's going on?
Where'd this come from? Bonus. All right. Yeah, so it's Doom Kicker on Indiegogo. Check it out. I've known about it for a minute. But I backed it. But yeah, you should definitely back it. Check it out. Indiegogo. A lot of comic books on Indiegogo. Independence.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, if you want to check it out, you can follow me on Instagram under Elliot Fernandez _artist, and you can see. So I'm updating on a regular basis every day as I kind of do some more panel work. I'm putting it in there. I just finished up the thumbnail for the next page. So I'm working on it tonight. And
and it's cool. Yeah, you can actually see him work on the book as he goes along, and it's like a cool process. And then for you've been drawing forever. It's like it's like what do they call it? Second nature, or what's that? What's
it's definitely intuitive for me to draw.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, man. I'm excited because this is the project. I knew that I was going to tackle it a little differently than my normal comic work. When I first started doing comics, I was really trying to imitate a lot of like your DC, your Ivan Rises and Jim Lees and stuff like that. But I really decided over the years that I really wanted to draw in a style that was comfortable for myself, and now's a good time because in the indie market is thriving in that regard, and not crazy, but it's growing, and it's a good opportunity and time for you to kind of reinvent yourself if you're an artist and create new things and find your audience and get people to enjoy your work as you like to do it. But I'm really kind of having fun just drawing in the style that I'm working in. Is a lot more lively, a little more lighthearted.
Oh yeah. It looks very like a detailed animated kind of. I think it's great. I think the book looks fantastic. It's how many pages? Like 90 pages?
It's over 100 pages.
Yeah, it's over 100 pages. He's drawing the Bible.
You should just send it like loose leaf. Let people just deal with it. Like,
you know what? That's a good idea. Send it all loose and then instructions. But they have to buy the glue separate. Like everything's sold separately. Like you're just banking on more and more stuff. Like, if you want personal, like personal Zoom meeting with me, it's $50. I'll show you how to put the book together.
The base model comes with a hole puncher.
That's right. I can, here you go. I can fax you the book. It's extra. Like I do like
keep the page as like the page, the climactic scene. Yeah. Keep that, and then like if you want this one, it's an extra $5.
Yeah, like hold on to little things. Like some panels don't even draw them in. They're like, wait, what happened to this panel? You know what? Either draw it in yourself or send it back to me for $10. I'll fill it in for you.
It was a late
do like DC was doing for a bit. You can buy like Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman all blank. All the pages are blank.
It's a great idea.
And then just send them like a bio of the character and like draw it yourself. I'm too busy. I got things to do.
That would definitely speed up the process.
That's right.
This is going to be called Mystery Pages.
Just fill in the blanks.
We're starting our Indiegogo called The Blank, and then you can buy the book and we'll send you the character bio.
I run a contest. This is what the idea is. You tell me, you draw the page and I'll include it.
There you go.
Oh man, that's a whole.
What's the Mike Miller variant?
He just did the cover on the one, so I have different covers. Yeah, and I'm actually going to go back and touch that up, as well as I'm actually going to go back and I did the campaign had some stretch goals, only a couple. One was a set of stickers and one was a bookmark, but I'm going to actually redo the art in the bookmark because I'm drawing. I'm also working on a project called Valkyries and Angels. It started out as just like it's really just a way for me to practice drawing women more. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've come up with a nice style. I think it's very appealing and attractive, and kind of like a little bit of Bruce Timm, a little bit of Joe Madureira, stuff like that. So I want to go back and treat her a little differently. So I'm actually going to go back and reconfigure some of the first pages that I did to adjust for my new way of working for her. But
there you go. It's that one, Valkyrie and Angels. That's going to be another project.
That's just an art book, yeah.
So watch out for that. Yeah, it's an art book. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So yeah, definitely check out Doom Kicker on Indiegogo. Follow Elliot Fernandez on Instagram. You got like 3 Instagrams or something like that, or 2, or how many you got? You got Doom Kicker.
I got a special one for the backers.
Official Elliot Fernandez.
Yeah. What I did was I have separate ones for I was just trying to figure out how to reach a broader audience. And I noticed that some of the artists that do more of the cartoonier styles, they and I want to do more of that. I just feel like I was kind of like splitting my audience too much on my regular channel. So I have one called Jerkmonger, which I go by Jerkmonger online. I have Jerkmonger animated and I have Jerkmonger illustrated. So those are my primary other accounts.
There you go. Follow those on Instagram and get all your art fixins in. Like I said, he does Doom Kicker on there, and you'll get to see him draw live. Like he'll put videos of what he's working on, and he did one recently where he drew a bag of potato chips, and I was very impressed by the bag of potato chips. It was pretty good. I reached into my phone. I was disappointed. Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about comics, right? You have to draw the little things. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we talked about this before. Like, man, wouldn't you hate having to work on Batman or Spider-Man constantly drawing buildings, all different angles, like nonstop? Like, man, and why does Batman always stand on the highest building on a gargoyle to start his night off?
So they don't have to draw the other buildings.
I'm just saying in general, why is he always like 50 stories up on a gargoyle when he's ready to start his night out?
Because he can't see anything.
That's what I mean. And
true. And if you had to get down in a hurry, how do you get down?
Yeah, I mean, it's at least a 5-minute drop.
How often do you think Batman actually gets out on a weekly basis? Like in reality, if Batman was real, how often do you think he actually would get out in a weekly basis? Maybe once or twice a week?
This is the problem with those movies, because now you have to ask, when does he go to the bathroom?
Everything, just anything. Exactly.
Maybe he wears astronaut diapers. Doesn't he have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying about in general. Batman. That's why Batman is, man, Batman. Because I always thought about that. Like when it's, you know how artists love to draw Batman in the pouring rain. Like just love it. Like he goes out. No, he doesn't go out when it rains. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, Alfred, get the bat thing you built. It's raining like hell. Let's go to the highest building we can. Like what? He's like, why would you want to do that, sir? It doesn't matter. It looks cool. Highest building. Let's go up there now. I know it's pouring. Who cares?
I'm gonna slip and kill myself.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
And then Alfred's like, over and over, sir. I keep telling you, your cape doesn't need to be 50 feet long. Yes, it does. It does. Like, I never understood that either. Artists that draw Batman's cape like forever big, like that would be of any use to him.
Every time he walks, it's like a bride going to the
right.
Yeah,
you know how heavy that thing must be. Like, which one was it? Was it the Ben Affleck Batman? He had the super heavy leather cape, or was it Bale?
It was Affleck.
Affleck had the.
It was Affleck. Could you imagine lugging around like a 25-pound cape every day?
That's why he's got the Ivan Putski stomach, because he's got like.
Oh, he does.
He's trying to carry that thing all the time.
Like, don't get me wrong. He looked badass in that costume because it's reminded of us, you know, the Frank Miller.
He's a weight belt. He's just stuck it in.
Nah,
he's a girdle.
He's a girdle.
When you're over 40 and you do sit-ups, that's what happens.
He was wearing a bro.
Yeah, wear a bro. I mean, I think it's funny when you think about superheroes in real life. Like Batman definitely only gets out like maybe 40 times a year. Yeah. Imagine all the times he gets shot and stabbed and beat up and accidentally falls off the gargoyle, you know, because it's raining because he's an idiot.
How many times has he had a long night? He has a sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
And he's pretending to be Bruce Wayne, and he slips in the fish tank in the restaurant, and he dies.
Yeah. Right?
You know, who saves him then?
And how does he explain like missing like 3 months of work, showing up to a board meeting with like a black guy and like a sling? Like, what the hell happened to you? Ski trip for the 10th time, Bruce? I'm bad at skiing. Get off me, bro.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Mr. Wayne.
Yeah. You want nuts? Let's get nuts. Like I just think it's hilarious. That's why.
But wouldn't you have Superman on speed dial? I'm like, can you cover this for me? You know, because obviously he can take care of it. You know, the whole night he can take care of it like in an hour.
No, because
Superman can fix the whole DC universe.
Exactly.
That's That's his flaw, number one. And number two, Batman has too much pride. He wouldn't do that. Okay. That was the flaw with BVS. Okay. Why the hell did Superman stop Batman from chasing the white Portuguese, whatever? Why did he stop him?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Why? He should have helped him. He should have flew right beside him. Batman should have looked over and went, "What do you want?" He's like, "Hey, you need some help? I don't need your help. You're horrible. You killed so many people." Like they could have had a conversation as they just drove. And Batman and Superman could have been like, "I can hear everything. Don't worry about it. You don't have to open the top or anything. We're good." And then he said, I can stop that for you right now. I can stop that truck." "No, leave me alone. I don't need your help."
I got this.
Yeah, the movie would have been better instead of him slamming into Superman and going, "Don't come back here anymore." "Well, yeah, well, do you bleed?" "Well, I don't know." That's what he should have said. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I never clocked myself.
I never actually hit myself.
He could have answered that because didn't he bleed in Man of Steel when he was on the ship when Zod had him?
But didn't that kind of make it because Zod was equal or more powerful? So that's just...
Zod was a cool villain, by the way. I like Zod.
But Zod, people get mad because Zod died. Zod had to die. He had to die because he was the ultimate Superman. He wasn't affected by kryptonite because he's Kryptonian. He spent his life on Krypton, and he suddenly got his powers when he was on Earth. So now, and he knew how to control them in like 20 minutes. He knew how to do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if Superman didn't kill him, man, he was going to destroy the Earth.
I have less of a problem with him killing Zod than I do with him having the Tobey Maguire nostril disease. When he starts to go, "Wah!" He starts crying. His nostrils flare so weird. Like, dude, you were handsome for like the majority of this movie.
I mean, what's worse, that or his dad going, "Stay back, son. I got this."
That was
like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
If I run, no one can see me. Don't worry, son.
They'll think the high-speed wind is from the tornado, right? When he's running.
You'll talk to me. You'll talk to me in the sequel. What? How? You're dead. Don't worry about it. Go to Alaska. You'll figure it out.
He's in Kansas. They'll go to the Methodist church, tell the priest, "Listen, it was God. It was a miracle."
You know what? Right. You know what could have easily happened too? Clark could have like run towards it and act like he stumbled into the tornado, and then somehow came out of it and saved everyone, and then like ended up like 100 yards away. "Clark, you survived it. Oh, amazing miracle. Yes, I'm alive. Oh, your dad still ran into the tornado. What the why?" Well, storyline. I mean, like he didn't need
the worst advice. He's like, "No, son.
Yeah.
You can't save nobody.
Oh,
don't save anybody. Just worry about yourself. Be selfish." What is that?
His
Carlos,
dad sucked. Yeah, I know.
Carlos,
how do you like that movie?
Yourself.
His dad was as bad in that movie as
his dad built a goddamn baseball field and people came and played baseball. Okay,
they were real people.
Leave it alone.
They were ghosts. They were ghosts. He built a satanic baseball field.
He did, but then he's
a real hero.
Ghost, and he tells him, Ghost Dad tells him, "I don't know what to tell you. Everything I got to say, I don't even know how to say. Thanks, Dad."
Yeah. And it's funny, he had two Ghost Dad. In the first movie, he had a Ghost Dad also on the ship.
That's right.
Yeah, he had a Ghost Dad on the ship. And again,
that'd make for a good sitcom. Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad was a Bill Cosby movie.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
He's another villain. He's another super villain.
He's another super villain. He's a drug dealer. Oh man, that's too good. Yeah, I'm telling you, the flaw with Man of Steel is the dad part when he kills himself, basically. And it's stupid because he did it like, "I'm gonna die right now." That was a dumb part. Like, stay back, I'll sacrifice myself. Like, god damn, your son is invincible.
I see what you're trying to do here, love. You're trying to bring me back to like 2 years ago when I was complaining about all this stuff. So I'm gonna go into my last tirade about this. What a loser son he is. He's adopted by these poor people who live in Kansas. They have no powers. They got to manage this Brightburn kid. And then what happens is after they get him into that, he leaves and goes, "Hey, Mom, guess what? I found my real parents.
Yeah.
They're way better than you. They're cooler. They give me
They're on a ship. They're on a ship. And guess what? He doesn't even get off the ship. So I can just leave when I want, come and go as I please."
So you can see her heartbreak. Did you notice that scene?
Yeah.
If you look at her face, she's like, "Oh, that's great, son."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's so her whole world crumbled because she can't have children. And
yeah. He's just like, whatever, mom.
That scene is the worst scene in the movie, and the worst scene in BVS, of course, is Superman acting like a traffic cop, like just cock blocking Batman as he's trying to stop the Portuguese whale.
That was the worst scene. The whole Martha thing wasn't the worst
No,
scene?
because that ruined
horrible.
Superman in that movie. Superman isn't like that. Superman would never threaten Batman. He would just be like, he would probably go right past the Batmobile, be like, that's the thing I'm going after. I got it. Don't worry about it. And he would stop it. He wouldn't stop Batman because, first of all, why is it that Batman treated him like a threat? I mean, come on.
When Superman throws the satellite down in front of the
drone,
the drone, and if he had sneezed by accident, he would have killed that guy.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's so many flaws in Superman. That's why I think it is hard to write another Superman movie. It's hard because he would have to go to another planet. Somebody would have to be bigger than him, bolder than him. You know what I mean? Like he would have to fight Darkseid and basically not win, because that'd make us go like, oh shit, Superman is not who we think he is. You know.
That's why I like Christopher Reeve's Superman more. Not necessarily. It's an older film and it's a little dated, but I like it because it's basically a Silver Age Superman story where it allows for some of the silliness, and you're not questioning why this guy's wearing his underwear over his pajamas. But in this one, you have to ask a lot of other questions, like the ones we're asking, like, why did you do this? Why did you say that?
Yeah,
and it just forces us to. Same thing with Batman. Like, Batman, why did you wear ears? That doesn't make any sense. Nobody else in the Ninja Clan has ears.
I mean, it is true. Ears. Costumes are also that's a whole different show. Costumes in general.
Aquaman was a cool movie until, believe it or not, I thought he was overdressed. Like when he wears it looked kind of cool. I was excited when I saw the Aquaman. So
when he put on his actual suit. Yeah.
He looks like he's like, it has padding. That dude's like 7 feet tall and 300 pounds of muscle. And they got him wearing a padded suit on top of that.
Yeah, the padded suit looked funky. Yeah, you're right.
And his gloves, like they don't have, he's got this armored fingers. Why do you need armored fingers?
His gloves look massive.
You know what I mean?
But it didn't take away from the movie. It was a fun movie. I always tell people that's a living comic book we watched. It was a cartoon.
You're right.
We watched a living cartoon. Like it was pretty, But as for the DC movies, the Superman, the Justice League, even the Batman ones with Nolan, one guy's to blame for anything that goes bad in those movies, and it's David Goyer, the worst writer in Hollywood. He's a piece of shit. He should not be allowed to touch any superhero movies. He literally helps write all of those, and he is horrible.
Did he write Lost?
Which one?
Was he a writer on Lost?
I don't know. He's been writing superhero movies though for a minute. I don't know if he's a writer on Lost, but he should have ran into the tornado. And that would have been okay. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Nerds Talking, the podcast. Definitely talk more comic books in the future. We love this stuff, especially the movie stuff. You can nitpick movies all day. You can nitpick superheroes all day. It's fantastic. I love it. And then we'll have to get into the Marvel guys next time. We'll get into some of those heroes. And does anybody really like the Fantastic Four? No, they're not that cool. So thanks everyone for tuning in. The Nerds Talking, the podcast. There's Carlos over there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And there's Elliot. Thanks, Elliot, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
All right. I'm Lafayette. Nerds Talking, the podcast. See you next time.
Well, that's our show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Seems like we just kind of hopped on a lot of Superman, Man of Steel movie. But, it's okay. Some parts in it doesn't make too much sense. Like when his dad says, don't do anything, stay right there, and I'm gonna die. I mean, what? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to Talking the Podcast. Remember to download and turn on notifications and subscribe. And have some fun, everybody. See you next time.
New episodes of Nerds Talking every Friday. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays every Tuesday, only here on the Nerds Review Network.